We used to love swimming in the lake, but since it's come to the lake, it's taken that away from us. I worry about her safety. I worry about her swimming in the lake and getting tangled in it and perhaps panicking. It's just not the same experience that it used to be for us since it's come to our lake.
I have seen some lakes in southern New Hampshire that are so doggone thick with weeds that you would have difficulty rowing a canoe across the surface of it. It looks like you could walk on it. It's that thick. You certainly couldn't get a powerboat through, and you certainly couldn't fish it.
If it grows dramatically and is unchallenged, if you will, a lot of visitors to our community probably wouldn't come to Meredith. They wouldn't enjoy looking out at a weed-infested body of water rather than the beautiful body of water that they can enjoy now.
The shoreline that we own, the fact that it's on a pristine lake is the main reason it's valued. It's valued where it is. So to have something come that can irreversibly destroy the value of where you live is devastating. And I think it would not only be devastating for our property, but for the tax base of our town.
What are all these people talking about? Believe it or not, it is merely a plant. But this exotic species, known as variable milfoil, is having a profound negative impact on the ecology, recreational value, and economy of some of New Hampshire's most beautiful lakes. Exotic milfoil was first discovered in the state in 1965 and has since spread to more than 50 lakes, and the rate of infestation is accelerating every year. And unfortunately, this non-native species is not alone. Eurasian milfoil, fanwort, water chestnut, and Brazilian elodea are all invasive weeds that form dense, impenetrable mats that choke out beneficial native plants and ruin habitat for wildlife. Variable milfoil is currently the worst threat to our lakes. Besides diminishing the ecological health of our water bodies, it can also make swimming, boating, and fishing impossible as it takes over an entire lake or pond. The bad news: there is currently no known solution for eliminating milfoil or other invasive exotics once they become established. At best, there are methods to control it, but these are expensive, time-consuming, and need to be repeated often. The good news, however, is that the state's Department of Environmental Services, with the help of the New Hampshire Lakes Association, is working closely with local lake associations and towns to help prevent the spread of milfoil and other noxious aquatic plants in the first place.
Milfoil is an aquatic plant. It's an exotic species in New Hampshire. We do have 6 native species of milfoil across the state, which are perfectly fine. They don't cause a problem. But this one, for example, the variable milfoil, which grows in this lake, does cause problems. It's got thick red stems and then very full growth along the whole stem of the plant. It can grow 15 or 16 feet tall. The longest piece that we've pulled out of a lake is about 15 feet tall. And in the summer, usually this time of year, it sends up this flower stalk above the surface of the water, which is what you're seeing all over the place here. When boat propellers go through the milfoil beds, especially something this thick, you're going to have it chopped up, and then all those loose fragments are going to be able to cause new infestations. Not only that, the plant has the ability with really brittle stems to easily snap off and just float itself around the lake and cause new growth.
This ability to break apart easily to create new plants is the key reason why milfoil is so difficult to control. And once an infestation starts, these exotics spread quickly all over the lake. So how does milfoil invade a lake? Well, careful study has shown that recreational boaters who travel from lake to lake are the main way these invasive plants spread. Pieces get caught in propellers, trailers, or fishing gear, and then, when the boat enters a new lake, so do the plants. Even tiny pieces of milfoil can remain viable for several days if they are trapped in a damp place like a tackle box, on the trailer, or on the bottom of the boat. This is how milfoil has spread itself across New Hampshire, piece by piece, boat by boat, and lake by lake. Variable milfoil is, of course, more than just an ugly weed. It has significant ecological, recreational, and economic impacts as well. For example, studies in New Hampshire have shown that exotic aquatic plants can significantly decrease lakefront property values. Milfoil infestations can impede boat navigation and ruin engines too. The plant's dense mats are not only extremely unpleasant for swimmers, but they can be dangerous too by entangling arms and legs. Decaying plants can create mucky lake bottoms that ruin the enjoyment of lakes and ponds. And milfoil outcompetes beneficial native plant species, thereby reducing habitat and food for native fish, birds, and insects. Really dense stands can deplete oxygen and nutrients, thereby further stunting fish growth. Plus, overall costs to combat infestations continue to increase. If invasive, non-native plants like variable milfoil continue to spread in New Hampshire, there will be fewer lakes available for boating, fishing, or swimming, with diminished wildlife habitat and negative economic consequences. Scenes like this one may be much harder to come by if we don't work together to protect our beautiful lakes and ponds.
In the past, unfortunately, we've waited till infestations have gotten too large just because we haven't known about them. So now we're trying to teach Lake Association residents and lake recreationalists what milfoil is and what it looks like so that they can catch an infestation early before it gets like this. And if that's the case, then we can easily go in and dive, hand pull the patches from the rooting systems and remove it. And then that way we'll get rid of the problem. We've done that on Dublin Lake, Lake Sunapee, and on Lake Muskoma and Enfield. No full lake infestations. On lakes like this, where the infestations get too big, all we can really do is use an herbicide application to try to treat the whole lake. And that will only give us 1 to maximum of about 3 years worth of control. The key is early detection and trying to get rid of it before it becomes a problem. After that, it's going to be repeat maintenance with herbicides every 1 to 3 years.
In 1998, the New Hampshire legislature passed legislation that was supposed to stop the spread of invasive species in New Hampshire. But since the passage of that legislation, more than 15 water bodies have been infested with exotic plants such as variable milfoil. Because of this, the New Hampshire Lakes Association continues to work to stop the spread of invasive species throughout New Hampshire. We've worked on legislation over the last few years that was targeting exotic species grant programs geared towards prevention efforts and eradication research. Last year, in 2002, we passed a piece of legislation that created a pool of money of $300,000 for grants for prevention and research efforts.
We have taken a very active stance when it comes to educating people about milfoil. Both New Hampshire Lakes Association and DES and individual lake associations across the state are really aware of it, and they're taking action to help us educate the public. When people are coming to launch sites, we're handing out pamphlets, educational materials. Colleagues of mine have also gone out and given presentations every weekend to communities, to lake associations, to schools during the school year, just to educate them. With boat registrations, we're trying to hand out information, and in boater safety courses across the state, everybody has to be certified to operate a boat now, so they have to go to class. We're trying to pass that information through those classes.
But the most practical and cost-effective thing to do is to prevent the spread of milfoil in the first place. And you can help. The next time you head to a lake, look for signs at the boat landing. These will tell you if milfoil or other exotic plants have been detected there. Once in the water, avoid places where there is dense vegetation or areas marked restricted use area. And of course, it is very important to carefully check your boat every time you put in or take it out of a water body for any type of vegetation that could be attached to your propeller, trailer, or fishing gear. Carefully remove any plant material you find, no matter if you suspect it is milfoil or not. Dispose of it far away from the water. Definitely do not throw it back in the lake. Drain and flush your boat or jet ski's engine. Check live wells and bait buckets before using them in any other lake or river. And don't forget the anchor. All these steps can be very effective in helping to stop the spread of milfoil. But there is even more you can do if you'd like to further help protect New Hampshire's lakes. You can become a weed watcher, for example. These volunteers monitor their lakes on a monthly basis and are trained to look out for and report any suspicious plants. This program has proven to be very effective for early detection of invasive species. Another effective program is the Lake Host program that helps educate boaters and shows them how to uncover any exotic hitchhikers. If you live on or regularly use one particular lake, consider joining the local lake association. And become a member of the New Hampshire Lakes Association, which, along with the state, is leading efforts to combat milfoil and protect lakes. And finally, encourage your town officials and state representatives to fund milfoil prevention and research programs. New Hampshire has been blessed with hundreds of picturesque lakes. It's no wonder that people flock here from all over to enjoy their beauty, wildlife, and year-round fun. Lake enthusiasts have worked hard over the years to pass better anti-pollution laws and educate citizens about the need for better lake stewardship. The result? Many of our waters are becoming cleaner and safer every year. But now, New Hampshire's lakes and ponds are under attack by milfoil and other exotic plants. Until we find a permanent solution, all we can do is work together to stop these exotic species from spreading any further. With your help, we can keep New Hampshire's lakes the natural jewels that they are: clean, clear, and beautiful.